Cool. I'll write in the search bar true crime, and then we'll just watch, like, we'll do hashtag true crime. This is my true crime page on TikTok. Obviously, you can see I have 1,027 followers. Going live soon. But follow me here. I'd love to hear your opinion on my videos. These are all just like the reading portion that I clip from the live streams. So yeah, check it out. Follow me here. And we'll go into hashtag true crime, and we will watch a few of these videos that are here. If they're parts, I'll try to find part 1, but hopefully we'll just see some that are just off the bat, like the video. And of course, I'll repeat it one more time. If it has copyright music, I'm not going to play it. So it's not going to happen. I will also be saying the of whichever content creator that we'll be watching, credit them. And if you are interested in whatever video we're watching, let me know, and I will write in chat the content creator's handle so that you can follow them there, because that's the name of the game. That's what we're going to do. You know, credit where credit is due at all given moment. So I wouldn't want anyone like stealing my shit and whatnot. Yeah, so we'll watch this first one. Maybe not tops. Maybe we'll go through videos. That we will give other content creators a chance as well. This is Crimecast. These are weird videos, but actually, you know what? We'll go to the top.
What did the youngest person on the FBI's most wanted list do to earn his spot? At just 24 years old, Alejandro Rosales Castillo has the distinction of currently being the youngest person on the FBI's most wanted list. In August 2016, a then 17-year-old Castillo worked at Shomar's restaurant in Charlotte, North Carolina. One of his co-workers was 23-year-old Sandy Lee, who Alejandro had reportedly dated.
This is at sinistersamantha. At sinistersamantha. That's the handle.
For a brief time. Supposedly, he'd lent her money, but she never repaid him. Alejandro was now dating another co-worker, 19-year-old Amia Feaster. On August 9th, Alejandro decided he finally wanted the money that Sandy owed him, and the two agreed to meet at a local convenience store. It's believed that instead of just demanding his money back, Alejandro forced Sandy at gunpoint to withdraw her entire account's savings. It is then believed that Alejandro drove to a nearby wooded area and took Sandy's life, disposing of her body before fleeing with Amia. The pair fled to the Arizona-Mexico border, where they successfully made their way across. This CCTV footage is the last known sighting of Alejandro since he crossed the border. The following October, Amia turned herself in. To this day, Alejandro has never been seen. What did they do?
A massive search is underway for a father of 4 accused.
Starting the video over, and this is at Crimecast. At crime_cast.
A massive search is underway for a father of 4 accused of killing his wife. On Sunday morning around 9 a.m., Breezy and Aaron Pennington's 4 kids showed up at their neighbor's house in Gardner, Massachusetts. At ages 2, 5, 7, and 9, they were reportedly scared because they couldn't find their father and their mother was crying in her bedroom. As we know, police were at the scene in 5 minutes, but tragically it was too late. They went upstairs and found that Breezy wasn't crying anymore. The 30-year-old was pronounced deceased from a gunshot wound to the face at 9:30 a.m. Now, as confirmed by surveillance footage, Aaron had actually left the house that morning at 8:50. And then on Monday night, his unoccupied BMW was found in the woods of a Boy Scout camp 4 miles away. In what is now a manhunt, police say they are searching all of 400 acres to find Aaron. That he has a military background, spent the past 7 years in active service, and knows how to survive in these woods. Aside from that, court documents have revealed that Breezy had been saving up money to leave Aaron and move to Texas with their kids. Her sister says that on the outside, he's a very nice person, but has been struggling with mental health issues that just kept getting worse. He also didn't have a license to carry a gun in Massachusetts, but Breezy reportedly kept one for her own safety. Today, the Penningtons' kids remain under custody of the state, with police asking anyone who sees Aaron to not approach him, but immediately call 911. Breezy was, quote, the funniest person. She had the best/worst dark humor. She loved true crime, and most importantly, her babies. She brought light to everyone that knew her, cheered for everyone, and made motherhood seem effortless.
Crazy. It's currently happening right now. And the fact that he has military background, yeah, dude, that just kind of elevates that worry, because he is equipped to survive. There's no lie in anything she said there. Damn, shot her right in the face. That is just crazy. I'm telling you, have to grow some thick skin when it comes to hearing all these true crime cases and whatnot, because, wow, just think about it. I remember seeing that the lady that survived the shotgun blast to her face, and she had to have, like, her face reconstructed. She's still alive. And I think the last I checked, she had gone through her, like, 10th one or something. Crazy, man. That's insane. Again, this is at crime_cast. We'll move on to the next video. This is charliebournetruecrime. So it's at charliebournetruecrime. Check out this video.
This teacher is accused of adding a student on Snapchat and sending him something shocking. You won't believe what happened next. Ricky Lynn Lachlan is a 24-year-old teacher from Missouri. Police received a tip-off about an alleged inappropriate relationship between the teacher and a student. The student was just 16 years old, and Ricky allegedly sent extremely inappropriate videos and pictures of herself to the child. It's alleged that the behavior then escalated to another level. She is accused of inviting the child to her home while her husband was away, but the child declined. The boy in question was interviewed by police and apparently stated that the teacher had added him on Snapchat.
The more she, sorry for pausing it, the more she talks about the case, and her picture's like right there. I swear to you, she just keeps getting uglier. And I don't know if it's like an effect. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's my own head that's doing this. But just while she's saying all this, just keep looking at this person's face. It looks like it's... the worse it gets, the worse the face gets. I don't know, man. It's just me. Let me know in chat if you guys can see it.
She then allegedly sent nude photos and videos to him. The boy told police that she requested photos back and he obliged. He stated that Ricky had warned him that she could go to prison for the actions, so to delete any photos and videos he had of her. Ricky claims that it was the student that began the conversation and that she had not been aware that he was a minor. Police seized her phone and found a video on there that matched the description of the video that the child had described. Ricky has since been arrested and charged with 6 felony S crimes. This teacher is accused of
Keep her in jail. Fuck it. It's a quick reminder that it is still rape and it's like pedophilia. I understand, you know, I grew up during the time when it was like, oh yeah, like the teacher and shit, Miss Robinson, and I get it. But the reality of the case is, you know, grounded in planet Earth, is that, yeah, dude, that's a fucking felony. I mean, we literally read a case of that 75-year-old that did this in a very extremely worse manner with a minor. And yeah, she got 693 years, reduced to 10 because I guess she's only 75. I don't know, man. I'm telling you, sometimes the judicial system, it just sucks. It's crazy. I don't know, but yeah, this is it's still a crime. I get it. Guys want to be like, come on, you know, like it's a fucking crime. Though they deserve to go to prison just as much as if it's a man that's doing it. Same. There should be no distinction between. So just want to put that out there because, again, I come from the time when that was a thing, and guys, and growing up, and the teacher. But yeah, man, one thing is like having a crush on that hot teacher, and this literally a felony crime. Nah, I'm good. I don't have kids, but I will tell you one thing: if this were to happen to my nephew, it's not enough to say that if it would happen to my niece, that shit would, I'd raise fucking hell. But I'd raise equal hell if it would happen to my nephew. Just want to put that out there. It is still a crime. I don't know who needs to hear this, but it is still a crime. Again, this was at charliebournetruecrime. This is all from TikTok. You can follow these accounts on TikTok. Just look for them. If you want to know which one, if you want like a specific handle, just let me know, and I will post it on chat. Let's move on to the next one.
If you're
This is at truecrimecam. At truecrimecam.
If you're rich, you can do whatever you want. Like
I'm going to repeat it just so that the people in the back can hear this, because I kind of figured where this... I actually heard about this case. This is extremely recent. This was about, comments are coming on 5-6 days ago. This was last week. Check this out.
If you're rich, you can do whatever you want. Like post bail after allegedly murdering 4 young women. This is 22-year-old Fraser Boehm of Malibu. On October 17th, he drove his 2016 red BMW to pick up tacos. On the way back, he claimed he was involved in a road rage incident, and that a car began chasing him and trying to run him off the road. Investigators have said that there is no evidence of this. Fraser is driving westbound on the PCH where the speed limit is 45 miles per hour, which is apparently about 3 miles away from where the road rage incident occurred. Prosecutors allege that Fraser hit speeds up to 104 miles per hour when he suddenly lost control of the vehicle on Dead Man's Curve and slammed into at least 3 vehicles parked on the side of the road shortly before 9 p.m. 4 Pepperdine students that were standing/walking in between these vehicles were instantly killed. 21-year-olds Asha Weir, Deslyn Williams, Peyton Stewart, and Neve Ralston. All 4 girls were seniors and sorority sisters at Pepperdine. Some witnesses claimed that Fraser immediately tried to flee the scene, and that he ultimately had to be tackled by Sigma Chi fraternity members who watched this fatal collision. Fraser was arrested and initially charged with vehicular manslaughter with gross negligence, but authorities released him the following day so that they could investigate further. Fraser was rearrested on Tuesday and charged with 4 counts of murder and 4 counts of gross vehicular manslaughter. The following day, he pleaded not guilty and his bond was set at $8 million. The judge reduced that bail to $4 million. This past Friday, Fraser was able to post that bail, which would be around $400,000 cash, and he's now free until the conclusion of his trial. A preliminary hearing is scheduled for December 15th.
Crazy, huh? Damn. This is America, huh? My man paid $400,000 cash. Posted bail. Damn. 4 women killed in one accident. And he was able to post bail and he's out free right now. Probably partying. That is very, very sad. Someone mentions here Ethan Couch. I think I do remember that case. Happened a while ago. Same situation, sort of. There's a pretty famous true crime case that's going on right now with that really rich family that it was discovered that they had killed 2 or 3 people, and that became the whole thing. Chat, if you know the name, let me know. It starts with an M. I'm having a sort of a brain fart right now, and I'm not remembering, but yeah, she said it very well at the beginning of the video. When you have money, you're able to get away with murder. The amount of money you have correlates directly with how much justice will be inflicted upon you. That is no lie. And it's a very sad world we live in, that is the reality of it. And that, yeah, If you got money, you can get away with anything. Isn't that something, huh? Isn't that something? But this same situation anywhere else under any other circumstance, and that person would have probably been charged with that vehicular manslaughter and probably given a few years in jail and probation as well. Yeah, this dude is going out starch free. Nothing happened to him. Nothing but net. Yikes. Mind you, happens all the time. Happens all the time. Off the top of my head, Christopher Walken, that whole thing, that the boat situation that happened back in the 60s or 70s, was it the 80s? It was something. It happened a very long time ago. Famous actress, she drowned and she died. She was afraid of water. How the hell did it happen? To this day, that has been just something that has been kept up in the blue. No one knows. People just shrug their shoulders. If that same situation would have been under a different circumstance, there would have probably been some sort of conclusion to it, some closure. But it's kept up in the air because nothing ever happened after that point because people have a lot of money. That's where we are in the world. Moving on to the next one, truecrimecam. You can follow this person on TikTok.
Imagine
same person. charliebournetruecrime. Let's watch this video.
being held captive in a basement, and when police arrive you think you're free. You call out for help, but they leave you there to be killed. In the 1980s, girls in Belgium started vanishing. The local community in Brussels was understandably unsettled. They had no idea a monster was living among them. Marc Dutroux was reportedly abused as a child. When he became an adult, he turned to a life of crime. He was involved in substance dealing and selling stolen cars. He married early and had 2 sons, but he had many affairs and started abusing his wife. They separated and he married his second wife, Michelle Martin. The pair would go on to do the unthinkable. In 1985, the couple had a disturbing hobby. They would kidnap and women. A friend of the couple called Jean also helped them. Marc had managed to convince him that he owed him a favour. On June the 7th, 1985, they took their first victim. This was 11-year-old Sylvie D, who had been walking home.
Damn.
Men jumped out of the car and grabbed her and kidnapped her, and when they got her home, they AR'd her. They took a Polaroid picture of her before setting her free. They took many more victims before eventually being caught by police. The girls that were set free went to police and provided them with information to make the arrest. Marc, Michelle, and Jean were imprisoned for a short time. Marc, however, managed to manipulate the prison officials into thinking he was disabled, so he got many benefits. He was also able to state that he couldn't sleep and got prescribed some sleeping tablets, which he would go on to use for a sinister purpose.
Oh boy.
Marc was released in 1992 after serving just 3 years in prison. This time he learned a lesson: to set no more of his victims free. He built a dungeon in his basement for his next victims. Between 95 and 96, he would kidnap at least 6 children. He kept them in his basement, tortured them and SA'd them, and used the sleeping tablets to sedate them. It was at this point that news was circulating in the area of the missing children. 2 8-year-olds had vanished, and later that year 2 teenagers too. It was clear that this was no coincidence. Shockingly, despite Marc's own mother ringing police and reporting him, it would take 5 months for police to go to his house. Marc's mum even told them he was keeping girls captive. Marc was arrested during this period for stealing a car. He spent 4 months in prison while 2 of his victims remained in the basement. Michelle knew about these girls, and Marc had told her it was her job to feed them and water them while he was in prison. Frustratingly, although police finally searched his house at this point, despite hearing children's voices, the police just left. They said it sounded like the voices were coming from outside. They even found undeveloped camera film, which, had they just developed the film, they would have seen the basement in these images. Marc had documented the process of building the dungeon via the camera. Tragically, due to Michelle stating that she was too frightened to go down into the basement, the girls died of starvation. When Marc was released, more girls started vanishing. This included 12-year-old Sabine Dardine and 14-year-old Letitia Delhi. Mark was finally arrested after an eyewitness recognized his van involved in an abduction. He confessed and showed police his dungeon. He also led police to where he'd buried 2 of his child victims alive. It also transpired that he'd had an accomplice called Bernard Weinstein. After the pair had a disagreement, Mark also buried him alive.
Damn.
There was
Wow.
public outrage at the mishandling of the case. There
Hell
were
yeah.
protests on the street, and there was even claims of a wider P-ring. The 2 brave survivors, Sabine and Letitia, testified in court against Mark. They recalled being chained to a bed and repeatedly AR'd. Michelle was given 30 years in prison, and Mark got life.
Holy shit. Damn, she did not lie when she said that it was going to take a turn for the worse by giving him those sleeping tablets. How many countless times we've seen cases where law enforcement doesn't do their job properly? Why didn't they search that house? Why did it take them 5 months to go? That's crazy. Like, who knows, those girls would have been able to survive. 2 of them died of starvation. That's it's crazy. I think that the few times I've ever seen, and mind you, this is from a movie, but Seven, the movie Seven with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. Well, one of the sins is it's not gluttony. I forgot which one it is, and it's the guy that is chained to the bed and he's starving, and that image has always stuck in my head. And whenever we hear cases where something like that is mentioned, my brain just automatically goes to that scene. And holy shit, that's just the thought of a human being going through something like that is pretty fucking gut-wrenching. And not only did they do all this willingly, but god damn, dude, the cops did not do their jobs properly. That sucks. They shorten words on TikTok videos when it comes to sexual assault or rape and stuff like that. You can't say it on TikTok. I don't know why, but you can't say it because just as much as there are people that could say it in a negative light, there's news people that news reports and stuff like that they have to say it because it's part of what's going on, and information should be clear, and it's can't really give clear information if you have to shorten words like this, or you have to omit words because you can't say it because TikTok doesn't like it. You get your video taken down, or get community guidelines on violations on your videos and shit. I've had a few of them already, and I read things I don't even show anything, and it's because on the title before the video started on TikTok, I have the title of the video, whatever case that I'll read and whatnot. And yeah, apparently TikTok has an AI that goes through texts and stuff, and it'll show it just bans videos that have certain words and whatnot. So I had to learn the hard way. Yeah. That's why they do this. So if you hear SA or ARD or P, that's P is pedophiles. Like I mentioned, SA is sexual assault. ARD is raped. So just wanted to want us all to be on the same page. charliebournetruecrime. Let's move on to the next video. Hopefully we get another content creator. If we get any of the ones that we already saw, I'm just gonna skip it and we'll move on to someone that we have not seen.
911. What is your emergency?
Okay, this is a crime wave 911, and these are I guess this is a disturbing 911 call. So trigger warning. 3, 2, 1. We'll start this video.
911. What is your emergency?
Yes, sir. I need an ambulance to come to my house.
What's your address, ma'am?
On Gardner Road, Brunswick, Georgia, 31523.
Yes, ma'am. What's the problem now?
I just killed my 2 kids.
Oh shit.
What's your name, ma'am?
Julia Murray.
What is it?
Julia Murray.
And you said you killed your two kids?
Yes, sir.
How
Oh
old
my
are they?
goodness.
2 and 4.
How did you kill them?
I drowned in them.
Julia, are you with me?
No, myself.
Oh my god.
You just yourself.
Yes,
With what?
a gun.
Okay.
Please hurry.
Okay, I got them on the way, Julia. I'm just trying to keep you online with me until they get there. Is that okay? Will you talk to me? Julia. Julia, can you hear us? Is your door open? Will we be able to get in?
I mean, it says disturbing 911 call right on top there. I should have heeded that warning. I did say trigger warning before the video started, but wow, that really took me by surprise. Holy shit. Okay. Okay. This is not gonna actually tell me anything. So it says Julia Murray. Oh. Okay. This is old though. This happened back in 2010. It says police. Glynn County woman drowns daughter, tries to drown son, then kills herself. The son was the only one that survived. This was February 16th, 2010. So this was 13 years ago. Wow, it was updated February 22nd, 2023. So I guess there's some information, some update. Wow, this is in Brunswick. Julia Murray was calm. Her voice was matter of fact, almost a monotone, as she told a 911 operator, "I just killed my two kids," which was the call that we just heard right now. Disbelieving his voice, the operator asked Murray to repeat what she said about killing them. She said, "I drowned them. They are 2 and 4. Those were the ages when she mentioned it. She said that she had just shot herself with a gun. It was the first time she had broken from the composed, deliberate manner in which she had meticulously given her name, address, and telephone number at the beginning of the emergency call at 9:50 a.m. on Tuesday. Those were the last words Murray is heard to speak during the nearly 2-minute call that she made shortly after drowning her daughter, Ansley, age 4, and nearly drowning her son, Creighton, age 2, at the family's Baumgardner Road home. Glynn County police officers found Murray lying mortally wounded near a .357 Magnum revolver in one room, and the still wet bodies of her son and daughter in their bedroom, said County Police Chief Matt Doring. Ansley and Creighton were lying next to each other in one bed as if they had been tucked in for the night. There were no visible signs of injuries other than those indicating drowning, Police Captain Marissa Tyndale told the Times-Union. Wow. Creighton was still breathing, but his sister was not. Mother and children were taken to the Southeast Georgia Health System's Brunswick Hospital, Doring said. Ansley died at 10:44 a.m. and her mother died at 11:57 a.m., County Coroner Jimmy Durden said. Creighton was in stable condition and is expected to recover, Tyndale said. He might be well enough to be released Wednesday. Murray had a close-range gunshot wound to the upper left side of her chest, authorities said. Wow. As the 911 call ends, because this one that we heard just only gets to a certain point, Murray's moans trail off into silence. Then a police officer can be heard in the background rushing into the room where she is unconscious and unresponsive. At this point, we don't know why she did it. Damn. Someone mentioned in the comment section here that it could be a postpartum psychosis. Wow, this is extremely chilling. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Wow. Oh, okay. This is a Tea and True Crime with Bella. Tea and True Crime with Bella. Footage of Chris Watts in prison. Someone paid to have him attacked. Listen, let me tell you something. About this monster. If you don't know who Chris Watts is, Chris Watts killed his whole family to try to be with his lover. His wife her name was Shanann. Horrible case. It's one of the worst cases out there. Monster. Can you explain to me why this monster gets bags and bags of love letters of women and men professing their love to him and how much they love him and how much they want to be with him and how much he means to them? There's countless documentaries and footage and evidence that clearly shows that he did this crime. Clearly points to him. And yet, dude, people go willingly to want to be with this absolute heinous, despicable monster. Because if you don't have the answer, I surely don't. Shit is beyond me. So you know what? I might enjoy this a little bit. You know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. Me, Angel. I'm not gonna lie to you, because I'm gonna enjoy this video. Okay, I'm pausing the music. But why would you put this music? Is that really him? I don't know, but it kind of doesn't look like him. This isn't real. This isn't real. No, this isn't real. I've seen this video before. That's not him. No, I've seen this video before. That could be him. That dude there, but I don't know. I feel like I've seen this before, and I don't think this has anything to do with him. This video is old. This is something else. This. Tea and True Crime with Bella. This ain't it.
Moment, a jealous man led his estranged wife to her brutal
This is itvnews. At itvnews.
death. Paweł Chmielewski later killed his wife Marta, stabbing her more than 30 times.
Holy
Following
shit.
the murder, he stayed with her body in his rented room in Northamptonshire for 4 days, only leaving to buy beers from a local shop. So why did he kill her? Police say Chmielewski had failed to accept his marriage was over after Marta had started dating a work colleague. He'd kept contacting her despite her keeping her distance and telling him it was over. Police were alerted to the danger after a family member got an unusual text from Marta. They said it didn't sound like her. She went round to Chmielewski's flat but got no answer, so she called 999. Officers knocked on the door of the rented room to find 40-year-old Chmielewski with a knife protruding out of his neck, laying next to his dead wife on the floor. He was sent to hospital for treatment and later arrested for the murder. Chmielewski initially refused to comment before confessing in court. He was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison.
Damn. Keep him in there. Holy shit. Alright, this is ITV News. Let's move on to the next
Imagine
one.
going on a...
Okay, we already saw it.
Imagine getting...
Okay, this is itsheidiwong at itsheidiwong.
Imagine going on...
Imagine getting arrested for having a child with a dead body. Jennifer Burrows is a 26-year-old who was working at a morgue when she was arrested after a DNA test proved her child's father was a dead body she was supposed to autopsy. But it actually gets worse from here, because while Jennifer was working as an assistant pathologist at the morgue, she had relations with more than 60 bodies, belonging to men aged 17 to 71 years old. She did this for 2 years until it led to the birth of her son. Her son's father was a 57-year-old veterinarian from Texas, who passed away in a car accident in 2017. Jennifer was charged with 158 counts of indecent treatment of a corpse. Many psychologists and experts have debated why someone would do this. The reasons range from curiosity to severe mental illness. Some even believe Jennifer was suffering from psychosis. Alright, after all that, I don't really know how to end this video, so stay safe out there and follow for more.
What? Wow. Yeah. Yeah, she was banging corpses. Holy shit. How does that even physically happen? Yeah, someone commented here. How does that happen? Like, how? How is it possible? Wow, that is so disgusting. All right, moving on.
The scene of one of the most notorious crimes of the 1990s is for sale in Boulder, Colorado.
All right, this is a zillowtastrophes. Oh, shit. Okay, it's the JonBenet Ramsey case. Oh, so this is a JonBenet Ramsey house. Damn, they're selling it for $6 million. 5 beds, 8 baths. Does it still have the basement? Bruh. You want to know what the worst part is about everything? That they're going to buy it. Someone's going to buy the house. Someone's going to buy the house just because it's where the Ramsey family lived, and the whole JonBenet Ramsey case happened. If you don't know this case, it's probably one of the most famous true crime cases. There's thousands of videos on YouTube that you can find about this case, including one of mine too as well. I think it's still there. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. If you don't know this case, this is JonBenet Ramsey. She was found in the basement of her home one day. Her family was upstairs. It was during Christmas, and there was just a whole bunch of conspiracy theories that came from that finding, and to this day, no one has ever been charged for her murder. There's plenty of theories, like I mentioned. There's evidence that comes up every so often, and someone confesses to it, but then nothing ever comes out from that. But again, yeah, one of the most famous true crime cases in all of true crime history. The house, again, $6,249,000 sold. It's gonna sell. The house could be the biggest piece of shit on the whole block, and just because it has that notoriety attached to it, it's gonna sell. They're gonna make that money. Unbelievable.
The house where JonBenet Ramsey lived and died has hit the market for $6.25 million. I've done my best to match up the listing photos with the crime scene photos, so we're going to take a walk through and see what's changed and what remains the same. But first, let's talk about that price. A recent study done by Real Estate Witch tells us that a full 37% of people would consider it a deal breaker if the home that they were buying was the scene of a violent crime. So let's...
Okay, but they do it if the scene of a violent crime... I would understand, but again, it depends on the notoriety on it. It's because it's JonBenet Ramsey and it's one of the most famous true crime cases. I don't think anyone's going to have a problem with that. Now, I'll give you an example. It's like a Amityville horror kind of shit. It's like the Bever family. And those type of houses, you have to demolish it because obviously no one wants to live there. But because the case has never been resolved, and it's still up in the air. It'll pique some millionaire's interest, and they'll buy the house. Plus, it's in Boulder, Colorado, and Boulder's supposed to be really nice too. So, like, even within the whole fact that a violent crime was committed in that house, people would still buy it. It's insane.
Let's take a look through and see if you think they changed enough to warrant that high price. Here's what it looked like in '96 on the outside. Since 1998, they installed privacy gates and they actually changed the address of the house. Here's what the house looks like today inside. In this crime scene photo of the dining room, take a look at the French doors. They just painted them black and they left the same hardware. Much of the first floor looks exactly the same as it used to, even down to the curtain rods in this family room. New owners have put in a brand new kitchen. You can see the recognizable black and white tile flooring is gone, but they've kept this walk-in refrigerator and added a new stainless steel panel to the front. In the butler's pantry, the black and white tiling is still there. At first glance, the bathrooms in this house might appear updated. When you look a little closer at these old crime scene photos, you'll see they've added a new sink and top, but this vanity and the drawer pulls are exactly the same. In some of the bathrooms, the distinctive black tile around the tub is still there. In the primary suite, we see that they replaced the old blue carpeting for some fresh beige carpeting, but not much else has changed. Even the wall sconces are the same. Downstairs in the basement, where many think the crime occurred, it's been completely renovated. In this room, the new owners put in a wine cellar. While the rest of the basement used to be a series of storage rooms, it's now one big open entertaining space. Obviously, a lot of this price comes down to the stunning location, but this house was sold in 1998 for only $650,000, and it has been on and off the market at least 6 times since then, most recently with a huge price increase. This place is already priced way higher than any homes around it. So what do you guys think? Would you live here? See?
I told you. Why do you think they're charging that price? Why do you think the price keeps going up for it? Yeah. It's because of that notoriety attached to it. Now, 6 different owners in that short span of time, let me tell you something. When it comes to houses, from 98, 25 years, 6 people, that's a lot. When you would think that a house only, that's not like being rented or anything, you would only have it for like the owner, or like if they sell it to the next, you would think that there's time between all that, but 6 people living in that house, buying it and reselling it, something's going on there besides the notoriety that's attached to it. But yeah, this is a zillowtastrophes, not necessarily very much involved in the true crimes world, but a little different than what we normally do. My wife and I we're millennials, so we like to go on Zillow sometimes and check out what the pricing of houses in our area are currently at, and we just laugh because it's just so completely unattainable at this point that who the fuck are these people selling these houses to? It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. All I know is that if there's a zombie apocalypse, a lot of places are going to be empty. Tell you that much. Alright, we'll watch 2 or 3 more, and then we'll end the live stream for tonight. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Like I've always mentioned, the time that you take to watch me here, especially now watching these TikTok videos, it's very comforting. It means the world to me, and I really appreciate you. Thank you very much.
It is a heinous crime.
It's a us.truecrime at us.truecrime.
Police say by a husband enraged that his wife might be having an affair. What happened next, we have to warn you, is so violent it may not be appropriate for some viewers.
This woman has 2 black eyes.
Shit.
The result, cops say, of a beating by her enraged husband after he discovered she was having an affair with a co-worker. What authorities say happened next is shocking.
This case is especially heinous and gruesome.
31-year-old Brittany Barron told police her husband Armando was looking through her phone when he found text messages from her co-worker Jonathan Amerald. They both worked at a medical supply company in New Hampshire. Brittany said what followed was a violent assault, with her husband beating her about the face repeatedly and strangling her so hard she says she passed out. Then her husband texted her lover pretending to be Brittany and lured him to meet at a park in the woods.
Holy
when
shit.
Emerald showed up for the middle of the night rendezvous with his alleged lover, a grim fate awaited him. That's when Brittany told investigators her husband turned and shot Jonathan 3 times, twice in the chest and once in the head. The couple then drove 200 miles with the body into the deep forests of New Hampshire, where the husband ordered Brittany to cut off Jonathan's head with a saw so that he could not be identified, according to court documents.
The defendant decapitated Jonathan, wrapped his head in a tarp, and placed it in a grave.
The gruesome crime was exposed when Fish and Game officers happened to come upon the scene. Armando Barron has pled not guilty to murder. His wife was charged with falsifying physical evidence. She pled not guilty when she appeared in court, and you could still see those 2 black eyes.
You can hear me, right?
Yes, I can.
Her lawyer, Richard Guerriero.
Everything that the state alleges that Miss Barron did, she did under duress, and I mean under duress, meaning direct fear from her for her life.
It is a heinous crime sparked, police say, by a...
Damn, holy shit. You could obviously, she was pressured by her husband to do that. These comments are... Wow. I'm not going to waste my time reading them and showing them to you. I just quickly glanced at them because I have them like right here and I can see them on my screen. And let me tell you, it ain't even fucking worth it. Because a lot of guys like to talk with their fingers... And it's really cool to say they think they're killing and they're eating with what they're saying. And they sound so tough and rough and... And those are the same type of dudes, like I mentioned before, with that the case that we watched of the guy that put his girlfriend in like a freezer or some shit like that. And she ended up surviving. He thought he had killed her. He was just laughing there and... all tough and rough until he was read the verdict and he had that dumb confused look on his face and wondering why and all this, and everything really changed from a happy-go-lucky smile to someone worried about his future all of a sudden. When I read these type of comments, that's what I'm reminded of. It's these dudes that will say anything here, but yeah, pretty horrible case in and of itself. You can obviously tell that this person was pressured into committing this crime. If someone you're with does something like that, do they cheat on you and shit, just fucking leave. That's it. There's so many fish out there. Listen, prison is not worth for anyone. Prison is not, it's not worth it, and it's not worth going to because of someone else at all. Nah, I'm good with that. I'm cool. Alright, we'll watch 2 more videos. Let's move on to the next one.
It took them...
This is Making a True Crimer 2. At Making a True Crimer 2.
29 years to find out who she was. Now the question is, who put her head in that park? Hello, true crimers. This is the case of the Ina Jane Doe. Viewer discretion is advised. It was January 27th, 1993, and it was at the Wayne Fitzgerald State Park, and this is near Ina, Illinois. 2 younger girls were walking in the park when they saw something in one of the bushes. And it was kind of on the side of a road within the park. That item that they saw was a human head. Essentially, it was just the skull, so it was like skeletal remains. The rest of that individual's body was never really found. So all they really had to work on was the skull. They were able to tell it was the skull of a female, and they would initially come up with this sketch, which obviously, back then is probably the best they could do. Then they did the whole the clay molds thing to see if they could better replicate what the individual may look like.
I remember hearing about this case.
Came up with. The reason why the head is tilted in this way is because I guess they thought that this individual had an issue with their muscles or something like that that caused their head to tilt to the left. But no one ever identified her. No one recognized her, and no one recognized her based on this image either. And so for the next 29 years, her case just went cold. So 29 years later, they reopen her cold case. They have a team of forensic specialists extract DNA from the skull, and they come up with a more, modern image of what the individual may have looked like. But they also run it through the genealogical database and, all that fancy stuff they do now. And they finally came up with a hit. Through that genealogical testing, they came to this woman, Susan Lund. She was 25 years old in 1992 when she disappeared. She lived here in this apartment building with her husband, and they had 3 children.
Really quickly, not to interrupt, his name is Mikey. Not to interrupt Mikey real quick, but crazy how DNA forensics and, the being able to investigate crimes through forensics and using DNA, like I just mentioned, started at the beginning of the 90s. So it's not as if there was a whole lot of time that this method was being used beforehand. This is, maybe not now anymore, but 2005, for example, using DNA and analyzing it and extracting from remains and all that only had a decade and a little bit more, maybe less. So that's how new it is, sort of still to us, but because of those advancements in technology and science, go science, we are now able to generate images, make comparisons between the DNA that was extracted from the remains and DNA that's in evidence, or that I don't know, in the store somewhere, whatever the hell you want to call it. But the advancements in science allow us to be able to get to the point where we are now, and it's just great to see. Man, go science. That's I mentioned it before. I mentioned it already in this live stream, but it's just I am so keen on just how important it is for knowledge to be at the forefront of everything. And it's, again, what's allowed us to have science. And science is what allowed us to have all these advancements that we enjoy of. So, moving on. Let's hear what Mikey has to say.
She left the apartment on Christmas Eve 1992 to go walk to the store, and the young mother never came home. She was reported missing pretty much right away, but their investigation really led nowhere. They assumed she just ran off. At one point they suspected, well, maybe her husband did something to her. But the thing is they can prove he was home the entire night she disappeared. He certainly wasn't decapitating her and disposing her body in Illinois, because they lived in Tennessee. So there was no way he did anything to her. So while one mystery is solved, another one remains. The stranger part is that when they found her head, they determined she had been killed about 2 weeks prior to being found, which means she was alive for 2 weeks. They based that off of the fact that this was a busy park and the head was located in an area that people had walked by all the time, and so surely someone would have noticed it. But then you can use that same logic, because they said she was decapitated 2 weeks prior to being found, so that's still 2 weeks where her head is in these bushes.
True.
Unless the killer threw her head in there, literally just maybe a day or so before all of this. But was Susan truly alive for 2 weeks before she was killed and decapitated? That's nobody knows. The mystery is, what happened to her that Christmas Eve night in 1992 when she went to the store? Was she kidnapped? Did she run away with someone who was obviously the wrong person? I think they lean more towards she was probably abducted.
I think so too.
But then if that 2 week theory is true, what was happening in that first 2 weeks? because this is like a month after she disappears when she's found. So, and with the husband basically being cleared, they don't have anyone else. So if you have any information about the disappearance, abduction, and murder of Susan Lund, please contact the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department at 618-244-8004, and perhaps you can help solve this mystery. It took the...
But one step forward. At least we know who it is. It can give the family some closure. But yeah, I think so too. I'm leaning into the maybe it was an abduction, and yeah, I guess that doesn't constitute for the 2 weeks, but because we've seen so many true crime cases, and there are so many true crime content creators out there talking about so many other different cases, how many have you not heard about that? Person could have been abducted and maybe tortured somewhere, or anything. They drugged her and did whatever they did and dismembered the body and left the head in the park. It's not very far-fetched to think. So I wouldn't put it past whoever committed the crime that's what happened. It sucks that this could well be a cold case and may never be resolved, and the person could have gotten away with it if they're dead now, and if they're still alive, most likely they will be able to get away with it, because it doesn't seem like there's any evidence that could lead to anyone. The husband was already cleared, so damn. Susan Lund, hopefully your family will get even more closure and justice will be served for you. Oh shit.
You're about to watch is extremely...
Okay, this is Crime with Court. This will be the last video we see tonight. At Crime with Court.
Disturbing, so watch at your own risk. That was a woman who earlier this month escaped her kidnapper after being held captive for the last year. As seen in the video, she made her escape to a gas station in Burlington County, New Jersey, and following close behind trying to catch her was her abductor. The woman's identity has been withheld for her safety, but her kidnapper is 57-year-old James Perillo Jr. According to authorities, the woman met James at a gas station in New Mexico in February of last year during a cross-country road trip. James told her that his name was Brett Parker and asked her for a ride to Arizona, in which she agreed. According to her, for the first month they were in a consensual relationship, but it wasn't long after that he began assaulting her. He took away her phone and debit cards and isolated her from her family. He then spent the next year holding the woman captive and traveling with her throughout the country. In the weeks before she escaped, the two had visited a gas station in New Jersey that was close to a room that James had rented out in Bass River Township, and it was there that she noticed that the store had an interior deadbolt. It was at this point that she began plotting her escape. The day she escaped, James had been beating and choking her, and she somehow broke free and made a run for it back to that gas station. It was only 42 degrees out, and she was wearing only a t-shirt and shorts with no shoes. When she got inside of the store, she immediately locked the door, and it's a really good thing she did because James was right behind her. Luckily, he didn't get in though. The woman told the attendant that she had been kidnapped and held captive for the last year and that she needed help. She had deep cuts and marks on her neck. James was caught and arrested that same day, which was February 7th. He's being held at the Burlington County Jail with no bail because, according to authorities, they found evidence online that he may have had other victims in the past. He's been charged with first-degree kidnapping, second-degree strangulation, and aggravated assault, amongst many other charges. If convicted, he faces up to 47 years in prison and a fine of nearly $500,000. What you're about to...
Holy shit. Damn, she's so fucking lucky. Thank goodness she closed that door. Who knows? That face. Look at that face. And then he would have really... Yeah, he would have really done a number on her. He was holding her captive. That is insanity.